A reading from the Song of Songs. The bride says, "On my bed at night I sought him whom my heart loves. I sought him, but I did not find him. I will rise then and go about the city. In the streets and crossings I will seek him whom my heart loves. I sought him, but I did not find him. The watchmen came upon me as they made their rounds of the city. Have you seen him whom my heart loves? I had hardly left them when I found him whom my heart loves." The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. My soul is thirsting for you, O Lord my God. My soul is thirsting for you, O Lord my God. O God, you are my God, at dawn I seek you. For you my soul is thirsting, for you my flesh is pining, like a dry weary land without water. My soul is thirsting for you, O Lord my God. I have come before you in the sanctuary to behold your strength and your glory. Your loving mercy is better than life. My lips will speak your praise. My soul is thirsting for you, O Lord my God. I will bless you all my life. In your name I will lift up my hands. My soul shall be filled as with a banquet. With joyful lips my mouth shall praise you. My soul is thirsting for you, O Lord my God. For you have been my strength. In the shadow of your wings I rejoice. My soul clings fast to you. Your right hand upholds me. My soul is thirsting for you, O Lord my God.
Dominus vobiscum. Lectio Sancti Evangelii secundum Ioannem. On the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early in the morning, while it was still dark, and saw the stone removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and told them, "They have taken the Lord from the tomb, and we don't know where they put him." Mary stayed outside the tomb weeping. And as she wept, she bent over into the tomb and saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken my Lord, and I don't know where they laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not know it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener and said to him, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him, and I will take him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and then reported what he told her. Verbum Domini. Last month in the National Catholic Register, our newspaper, there was an article entitled "Encountering the Eucharist in the ICU." And it was told by Dr. Wes Ely. He is a professor of medicine and critical care at Vanderbilt University in Nashville. He's also a member of the Catholic Medical Association and president of the group there in Nashville. And he told the story of a friend of his who contracted COVID, had double pneumonia, and was in the ICU. He became his patient. This friend, who was a vascular surgeon, became his patient. His name was Dr. Giancarlo Piano. And this doctor said, "I'm Catholic," he said, taking in a shallow, rattly breath. "Could I receive the Eucharist?" Now, Dr. Wes Ely, is a lay minister of the Holy Eucharist, and so the next day he went to Mass, he had a pyx, he brought Holy Communion. He goes to the room, and Dr. Giancarlo was next to the window. He had his cannula receiving oxygen there. And then Dr. Ely describes what happened next. "I knelt in front of him and pulled out the pyx. We made the sign of the cross together. And I said, 'Gian, from the Holy Gospel according to John, after the miracle of the loaves and fishes, do not labor for food that perishes, but for that which endures unto life everlasting, which the Son of Man will give you.' As he consumed the Eucharist, Giancarlo began to sob. I was startled by the emotional intensity and watched as his pulse and breathing skyrocketed. 'Breathe, Giancarlo, please breathe,' I implored him. concerned that he might go into cardiac arrest, he began to settle down, and I wiped tears from his cheeks. And he said, "You have no idea how much this means to me. This is the most important thing I could ever want. This is my golden wish." Do you know what a golden wish is? It's for those over 60 who maybe have still a wish that hasn't been fulfilled. And he said, "This is my golden wish, to receive the Eucharist." And Dr. Ely commented, "My faith affirms that consuming the Eucharist helps me become a better servant of God and others. And I readily admit that I need all the help I can get. I believe that how we handle ourselves on earth will echo into eternity. And the Eucharist is both our shield of protection during life and our viaticum, food for the journey in dying." For Gian, the knowledge that this might be the last time he received the Eucharist transformed the moment for him, transporting him beyond the sterile walls of his ICU to a place where he felt safe, loved, and in an eternal relationship with God. And indeed, it was a few weeks later, Dr. Giancarlo Piano died. But this moment was something that deeply impacted Dr. Ely. And this longing, this desire to receive the Eucharist. You know, I experienced this when sadly so many of you were deprived of the Eucharist at the beginning of the COVID crisis. And finally the day came on May 13th when our employees were able to come and others who were here to receive the Eucharist, and some of them with tears. This longing had been so great and so long to be with the one they loved, the one they were longing for. And that's what our psalm today so beautifully said. "My soul is thirsting for you, O Lord my God." And on this feast of St. Mary Magdalene, we think about her persevering love. That's our concluding prayer today. It speaks of her persevering love. And so often the scriptures today speak of seeking, longing, thirsting. The bride says, "At night I sought him whom my heart loves." This is a Song of Songs, our first reading. "I will seek him whom my heart loves. Have you seen him whom my heart loves?" And then it concludes, "I found him whom my heart loves." And I think for many who tune into EWTN, that's the question on your hearts. It's a question in my heart sometimes when I tune into EWTN. Have you seen him whom my heart loves? And so maybe I'll see a testimony on the journey home. Yes, I've seen him. He changed my life. Or other testimonies that we have on the network. Or maybe Father Ho Lung from the Missionaries of the Poor talking about how they found him in the poor. Or a Sikh conference that we might be televising where young people too have found the Lord. And it made such a profound difference in their life. Or our liturgy here, where we're saying, we're seeking you, Lord. We're thirsting for you. We're longing for you. We desire what Dr. Giancarlo Piano so desired. "This is my golden wish," he said. "This is what I wanted. This is the most important thing I could ever want." And the good news is that if we seek him with love, persevering love, like St. Mary Magdalene, then we will have these words that concluded the Song of Songs reading today. "I found him whom my heart loves." That's what the network is here for. For those who have that question, we all have that question. Have you seen him whom my heart loves? And the answer is yes. We have seen him. St. John, in his first letter, he begins by talking about how we touched him, we saw him, we heard him. And then he says, that which we have seen and have heard, we proclaim to you, so that you too may have fellowship with us. And indeed, our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Jesus Christ. That's what we're saying. That's what this network is really saying. Yes, we've seen him. We've encountered him. And we're proclaiming this to you so that you might have this fellowship too with the Father and his Son, Jesus Christ. So for whoever seeks him perseveringly, who loves him, will find him. It's the most important thing I could ever want, Dr. Giancarlo said just a few weeks before he died. This is my golden wish. And what did the psalm today say as well? Psalm 63, this beautiful psalm. O God, you are my God, whom I seek. For you my flesh pines and my soul thirsts. As with the riches of a banquet, my soul shall be satisfied. That's the good news. It's not a hopeless venture. It's not a disappointing conclusion, but rather, as with the riches of a banquet, my soul shall be satisfied. That's what Mary Magdalene found. And the Lord leads her to a higher kind of relationship. And so she recognizes him and she calls him teacher. And he says, stop holding on to me. Don't cling to the past memories of what our relationship was like then. It's now something different. It's something higher. Go to my brothers. It's the first time in John's gospel he uses this word of his disciples. Go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and your Father, my God and your God. So there's a whole new relationship that Christ is now bringing us into, this higher relationship of communion with the Father, sharing in his relationship with the Father. My Father, your Father, my God, your God. And how does it conclude today? Mary says, I've seen the Lord. She now realizes this is a higher kind of relationship that I will have with him, not like when he walked on this earth, as wonderful as that was. I'm not going to cling to that. He told me not to cling to that. I've seen the Lord. So, my dear people, realize that when we seek him, we long for him, we thirst for him, something more than this world can offer. We will not be disappointed in that search. We will find him whom our heart loves.